Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. Our guest today is State Senator Janice Bowling, who is in the middle of her first term. And so I want to welcome you for being with us and for taking the time to go over some issues with the folks. And your District 16.
Yes.
7 counties.
Yes.
Which are?
You can remember this district quite easily, Tom, if you think of a daisy, and Grundy County is in the middle of the daisy, and then the petals are Coffee, Warren, Van Buren, Sequatchie, Marion, and Franklin. We are contiguous with each other, and almost all, Van Buren being the exception, are contiguous with Grundy. So we create that little daisy right in the map. If you're looking for us real quickly, that's a good way to find us.
Okay, fine. So you're in your first term, and you won't be up for election until 2016.
2016, I will be up for a primary in August, and hopefully no primary competition, but November the general election.
Okay. Now, sort of characterize your experience up to this point. What do you like, and what do you wish could change, and a few things like that?
Well, it has been a blessing to serve everybody first, so I thank you all for allowing me this opportunity. It has been a steep learning curve. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and probably I'd been there a couple of days when the comptroller, Justin Wilson, approached me in the hall and said, "Senator Bowling, I'm so proud to call you Senator, and I want you to tell me, what has been your biggest surprise thus far?" And I said, "Well, Mr. Wilson, I don't know that it's a surprise, but it is somewhat unexpected at just how cordial, how nice, how professional everyone is in this building." And he said, "Yes, Senator, and they will continue to be nice until they're not nice." And I said, and I should not take either one too seriously.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is the fact that in serving 7 rural counties, what I've discovered the most in Nashville, Tennessee, is that the great divide is not Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative so much as it is urban, rural. Yeah. And there are distinctions in urban and rural. And to that end, I have formed a caucus called the Small Communities and Rural Communities and Small Towns Caucus, where I can get the people, united in this interest for our rural counties and our small towns.
Okay. I forgot, well, we need to take a commercial break, but I forgot, is Coffee County considered rural?
Yes, Coffee County is still rural, about 52,000, and so that's still a rural county. Tullahoma is still a small town, 18,000. Now we're the smallest town in America as a gigabit city, yeah. But Manchester, we're still small towns and rural communities, with agriculture still being the #1 industry in all of Tennessee, but in our area as well.
Okay, well, let's take a short commercial break, folks, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Get Fit for Life, Tullahoma. Join the urgent team Get Fit Tullahoma Health Fair and Fitness Expo Saturday, September 13th at Northgate Mall from 9 until noon. Speak to health professionals, receive free health screenings, see different types of fitness demos, and more. And this year, we've introduced green vendors. Learn about sustainable energy and recycling. Don't miss this free and fun-filled morning for the whole family. Come out and see us Saturday, September 13th at Northgate Mall.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
We're talking today, folks, with Senator Janice Bowling, and we want to represent 7 counties, if you heard a minute ago, and so she gets around quite a bit, to say the least. I didn't ask you, I guess, how many miles are you putting on?
My car has about 175,000 miles on it, and I don't know how many of those have come on with this district, but a lot of miles every month. Some of the people who have Senate districts have part of a county, part of Davidson County, part of Knox County, and so they're limited in how far they go, and they can have a crowd together in a few minutes. But when you've got 7 rural counties, you travel a lot of miles over the river and through the woods to see the people and to make sure you stay in contact with the people.
Right. Okay. Well, we want to talk about jobs, and there are 2 or 3 ways to approach that. Well, not 2 or 3 ways to approach it, but several components of that in trying to improve the ability of our graduates coming out of whether it's high school or college or middle college, make sure that they are qualified for the jobs that are out there, which are getting more technical every day. So, and one of the first ones I wanted to touch on is Common Core, which by some folks represented in it is an important element in getting up our qualifications in the education and the STEM subjects, particularly math and science, physics. Where are you on that?
I am listening to the people of this district, and probably 9.5 to 1/2 the people, the parents, the teachers, are opposed to Common Core. And they are not opposed to more rigorous standards. They are not opposed to accountability. Excuse me. And they are interested in making certain that we educate American citizens who will then be able to be trained and further educated for 21st century jobs. But the main duty of K through 12 is to educate an informed citizenry, because as we live in a constitutional republic, if we have people who don't know our history, don't know our heritage, don't know how to compute, don't know basic science, then they're not going to be able to continue as productive citizens in this environment.
What is the gripe? And I haven't asked you where you personally stand,
right.
But what is the gripe about the Common Core? What's wrong with them?
The gripe about the Common Core is really very elementary, because in Nashville and in Tullahoma and in McMinnville and in all the different state government and in the local governments, education is best when it's most responsive to the people and to the community that it serves. And Common Core creates a cookie cutter, one-size-fits-all, Common Core of instruction out of Washington, D.C., and typically it's called PARCC testing, which is the single source, sole source for the testing. And if you have to teach the test, and that's the test, then that will drive the curricula. So,
well, there's already been, you can separate really the testing from the standards themselves. And I have yet to hear, they are supposed to be a means of telling the students what's expected of them when they come out of a course, come out of school. So
there are going to be many changes in education, because there's a book that's been published recently that talks about prison guards of the past and pioneers of the future. Actually, it says pioneers of the future, prison guards of the past. We are going to change the way we do things, and we're going to have to with technology. You could teach a lot of children with the very best science teacher, the very best math teacher in the whole state of Tennessee. And my personal opinion, at one time, that was Frank Van Zant right here in Tullahoma High School, was an incredible math teacher. But if you can teach and have that now, so that on the computer, on their books, that they're getting the best instruction possible, that would be a way to change education. But what Common Core, the gripe there is, in fact, the standards are controlled by the test, because the test is how you evaluate the teachers and the schools and the system.
Well, we've already, I think the state has already abandoned using PARCC testing.
No.
And there's a bit of flexibility there. So there's a difference between the standards and the test, and the test itself. I think they've already determined, at least what Tullahoma is doing, is that they will use something like the SAT instead of the PARCC test. So
that's news to me. So if you know that, you know more than I know, and I'll have to talk with you after the program, because my understanding is that, in fact, PARCC test, while we delayed it for 1 year, we had the votes to delay it for 1 year.
Okay.
And it will be under reconsideration this next year to determine where, in fact, we are going. If Tennessee creates its own more rigorous standards, when you and I went to school, not too many years ago, maybe, but everyone knew what you had to learn in first grade in order to pass to second, what you had to learn in second in order to pass to third.
Yeah.
There were expectations, there were empirical bodies of information that you had to know. Those things produce people that put people on the moon.
Well, yes, I don't doubt that, but we're still internationally, we're leaving a lot to be desired.
Right now we are.
And Tennessee is it has a lot more to be desired than much of the rest of the country. So we've still
I
got a way
haven't
to
seen
go.
the numbers on that, and oftentimes they'll rank, and there might not be but a fraction of a percentage between 1 and 25 and another fraction between 25 and 50. So as you know, statistics and lineups can be made to show pretty much what needs to be shown. We need to look and see if our students are getting educated. And when I go into the manufacturing companies to the different industries around the district, the CEOs, the general managers say, Senator Bolin, we don't want a trained workforce. We want an educated employee who can compute, who can write an articulate paragraph, who can do computer skills. And I don't mean social media, we mean putting together PowerPoints, putting together real computer-based help, technology. And so, but they're not looking, because most of them will train their employees specific to their industry. But if the person can't read, can't articulate, can't write, then that's what's happening. That's the problem.
Yep, no question about that. And we do need to continue to try to bring kids through the school system and have them come out as good citizens.
Absolutely.
All the way around.
Absolutely.
And there again, the standards are said by their proponents that they are able to improve. One of the main problems that we're having now, again, according to employers, is getting students who can sort of think for themselves, who are critical thinkers. And
mathematics is
problem-solvers.
key.
Yeah.
Foreign languages, mathematics, even music, those are skill sets that help develop the thinking processes and the critical thinkings.
Okay.
And those need to be very rigorous, and they need to be part of every curriculum. I agree.
Well, let's switch a little bit to another element of this, and that's Tennessee Promise. How do you respond to that? What do you like, and what do you see problems coming out of it?
I think it's a help to eliminate part of the problem that was an unintended consequence of the Tennessee Lottery. When you began to get the lottery scholarships, it gave the impression that everyone needs to go get a 4-year degree. There are different skill sets, different abilities, different desires, different ambitions. And so it got to the point where many people were going to a 4-year college on that scholarship and really not motivated to be there and not really wanting to be there, but they had to be average and they could go for free. Well, we all know you don't really go for free because there are a lot of costs involved in addition to the tuition. But what happened then, a lot of the students, as they began to get more difficult, say business math courses or whatever, and they would go to the counselor and say, I don't know that I need to stay here, this is too hard. Well, Governor Haslam changed the funding mechanism for the 4-year schools so that they're not paid according to how many they get enrolled, but they're paid according to how many graduate. So it's a changing there. So then the counselors were saying, and I don't want to offend anyone with a psychology degree, but they were saying, well, have you considered psychology? So 60% of the students graduating from Tennessee's higher institutions of learning were graduating with psychology degrees. Now, you and I both know that degree does nothing to help you really get a real good job, and
right.
You will have to get, if you want to truly stay in that field, you'll have to get at least a master's and probably a PhD.
So Promises...
Promises helps to redirect and say, you know, there are other options and other alternatives. And the money does not come from, I will say, a direct tax, because I still consider the lottery an end-around tax on those who can afford it least. Typically the people who want to win the lottery are people who are trying to help themselves but can afford least to be spending their hard-earned money on lottery tickets, and then it's there and pays for everyone to go to school. But it is a surplus in the lottery funds that pays this Tennessee Promise last dollar scholarship. And what that means is the student, and this year, November the 1st, I believe, is the deadline for the students to apply for the Tennessee Promise. Right. So it's coming very quickly, and they're looking for mentors, people in the communities who will help the students meet those deadlines that will be coming up. Yeah. But if those dollars from the Tennessee Lottery can come in and help children go to the colleges of applied technology or to community colleges and get a good foundation in the community colleges, or get a degree where they can go into a well-paying, good lifetime vocation, a world-class job and a world-class facility, because we have lots of those right here in Middle Tennessee.
Okay, we can go some more on this, folks, but first we need to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Trucks! Trucks!
The #1 selling truck for 35 years straight, the Ford F-Series, can be found at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester. We have a huge selection of over 100 trucks to choose from, with Ford manufactured rebates and incentives up to $10,000 or 0% financing available. Now is the time to buy. So come on down to Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester, and remember,
trucks! Trucks!
And more trucks! Why buy anywhere else?
Grill 'em at Gillum's, Tullahoma.
A salute to the never wasters, the coupon clippers, switch flippers, one last drop of milk drippers, the thoughtfully thrifty, and the just plain cheap. Charter respects your economic IQ and honors it with a phone service worthy of your ever-watchful wallet. Charter Phone, just $19.99 a month, for real monthly savings for fabulously frugal folks like you. Switch to Charter Phone and get unlimited local and long distance and 13 calling features with no extra fees like the phone company charges you.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with Senator Janice Bowling, and who I'll refresh you is in her middle of her first term, and she also is, her district is comprised of 7 counties, so she's a traveling senator. And we were talking about job training when the break came up, and we can carry on some of that. As always, the money for the Tennessee Promise, the money that's given to the students so that they can go to the community colleges or the technology college is good. That's good as far as the student is concerned. But where does the college get the money to provide the programs, the equipment in particular?
Well, an excellent question, because the Tennessee Promise, the actual tuition and fees that will come and follow the student, is only about 1/3 of the total cost of running the College of Applied Technology or the community college. So then the rest of that has to come from direct appropriations in the governor's budget. And right now, we've been working with Franklin County because they had been working for 5 years prior to my being elected on locating a College of Applied Technology on the property where they used to have the Franklin County High School. The school board there has made that land available, about 7 acres, I believe. And so working with industries in this area. As you know, in this area we have Nissan, but we're getting several vertically integrated automotive industries. They need technology-trained students. And in working in Winchester, I was able to get several of the industries to commit to equipping one of the classrooms with state-of-the-art, brand-new equipment that is typical in their industry.
Are they going to have a mechatronics system?
In the mechatronics, there is one in McMinnville that's in association with Motlow State Community College in McMinnville. And the mechatronics, that's a little bit of a separate program. It's an outstanding program. I think they're looking in Manchester right now of putting one in the high school over there. I suspect there's something going on in Tullahoma with regard to that. But this College of Applied Technology will have industrial maintenance, it will have machining, it will have the different jobs, the skill sets that are relevant to the jobs that are waiting in this area. Grundy County has no College of Applied Technology, Franklin County doesn't, Coffee County doesn't, and Bedford County and Warren County, the closest counties, have year-and-a-half waiting list for those positions. So there's definitely the capacity to create a large College of Applied Technology in this area, and I think that it would benefit all of the industries in Coffee, Franklin, and Grundy County if we were able to secure that in the real near future.
Franklin, where does that stand exactly? Is it, it keeps coming up saying, you know, that, yeah, we're going to have one, but is that thing funded? Is any?
The governor had it in his budget this last year. It was the #1 capital project listed by the Board of Regents for the Colleges of Applied Technology. They had 3. They had ranked 3 as their top priorities. Franklin County was #1. They are losing jobs. We are probably losing jobs in industrial development if we can't show that we're going to have that trained workforce once they put their investments into our communities.
Was that put in the budget last year?
It was put in this past budget, and then all capital projects, when the budget turned south, were set on the table. They were not eliminated, and when the amended budget was going to come out in April, they were going to be reinserted. Unfortunately, the amended budget was worse than the January budget. So they are still there. They are still the top priorities in the colleges, in the Board of Regents. And Franklin County has pledged $1 million, the government of Franklin County. Nissan has pledged equipment, Baxter Engineering, High Tech. There are all of these different diversified tech businesses who are desperate. They're cannibalizing each other right now with regard to workforce.
There's an interesting partnership there, and I know when the first one was established over in Warren County, and I've had Dr. Apple on the show talking about that. The way it came about was that the local industries said, you know, we got some needs that you guys are not meeting, and when the smoke settled, they had come up with $300,000 or $400,000 from the companies to fund their mechatronics equipment.
Well, we've come up with $800,000 worth of land and $1 million from the county and a couple of $1 million pledges from the industries with regard to equipment. So we are desperate. The state knows it. The state has this corridor now from Smyrna to Chattanooga where there will be an increase in the number of vertically integrated automotive industries at our industrial parks in Coffee County and Franklin County and Warren County. They're all growing. But if we don't have this workforce ready, it's going to be to our peril.
Absolutely.
It's an essential part of the infrastructure. The people are the essential part of the component for needing to have industry.
So it's still on the top of the list, and you're going to get them the money this year, right?
We are already working the issue. I've already met with Chancellor John Morgan and David Gregory and have other meetings set up this week, and we are working that issue.
Okay. Very good. Well, let's touch, we only got a minute, so let's, electronic teaching, if you will, both text and the teaching itself. Are you okay with that? And there again, I understand the rural counties are going to have trouble funding that. So.
I'm okay with that, and yes, indeed, you know, the BEP money helped to kind of level out the funding of the rural versus there have been a few changes in that. But right now, with these kinds of changes, we're going to have to make certain that these rural counties don't fall through the cracks and get further behind the digital divide. Right. And right now there is a digital divide, and so we're going to have to make certain that we look into that. Tonight I'll be meeting with regional school board associations in McMinnville for a regional meeting, and I'm sure those issues will be discussed tonight as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, with that, folks, guess what? We've run out of time, which we almost always do. So we'll take a short commercial break and come back and wrap up.
Imagine a world with more birthdays. We strive for it every day. We fight to get people the best access to care and the chance for more parties to plan. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
We're talking today, folks, with Senator Janice Bowling, and who represents us. She has the 16th district, which is comprised of 7 counties. So we have a traveling senator. And so I want to, let me give you a minute or so to speak directly to the folks. You got a little message you'd like to put out there?
I just have a message that I appreciate the opportunity to serve you, but in order to serve you, I have to hear from you. I do have town hall meetings on the week of the 3rd Monday, and so on the 16th, 15th of this month, I guess it is, that will be the 3rd Monday. At 9 o'clock, I'll be in Manchester. At 1 o'clock, I'll be at City Hall in Tullahoma. And then the next day at 9 o'clock, I'll be in Jasper. At 1 o'clock, I'll be in Dunlap. Then on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, I'll be in Altamont. At 1 o'clock, I'll be in Winchester. And then on Thursday at 9 o'clock, I'll be in Spencer. And at 1 o'clock, I'll be in McMinnville. So any of those times, they will be listed in the newspapers. We do submit those schedules to the local news. And hopefully, if you have any issue that you want to talk about, that's personal, or if you just have some thoughts on things in general, we'd appreciate hearing from you.
Well, again, thanks very much for taking the time to join us. And we've got some issues out there, folks, that are going to have to be dealt with, and we don't envy her the task of trying to give them whipped. So with that, folks, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.